Hey everyone.
We're back. Kind of.
We're always kind of back.
We're always kind of back.
So we haven't been posting for a while and wanted to welcome a lot of new subscribers that have found us over the past few months while we haven't been posting miraculously. So I'm Jaime and this is Chris, and we live in Bryson City, North Carolina. Moved here from Miami, Florida 3 years ago. And this channel is our chronicling of our experience moving from a big city like Miami to a small mountain town like Bryson City.
Yeah, we talk a lot about the change in lifestyle, what we're hoping to do here. We're building a business and we want to live a more financially free life. We also wanted to connect to nature more, so that's the kind of stuff that we post about in addition to what's going on with us. So currently this is going on.
37 weeks strong. We may be going to the hospital in 3 weeks. We could go today.
Yeah, we're sort of in that it could be any day now time. So in a nutshell, our last video that we posted was at the end of 2021, and it was our co-ed baby, we're calling it a baby party, but it's baby shower celebration of our baby. And we also visited Miami, Florida, which was home for us. And we teased our baby moon in Key West, which is one of our favorite cities in the world, and then never posted a video. So
no, we didn't. We have great footage.
We have great footage. It's so good.
But we're just gonna keep that to ourselves for right now.
No, it's gonna come. I don't know when to promise it. To give you a little bit behind the scenes, I am the editor and the poster, and once I came back from our trip from Miami, my third trimester started, and it pretty much just hit me like a truck. It is like a brain fog that I've never experienced before. Had the best intentions of getting this video out, obviously filming it, but it's just been really difficult, and I've chosen to prioritize sleeping and resting and preparing for this child. We've still been filming everything that's going on, that we plan to commit to regular content in a really big way once this child is born and we acclimate to that. No idea exactly.
Key phrase there, we acclimate to that.
Yeah.
That could be another 6 months. I don't know. I've never had a baby before. You guys let us know. You know, I'm sure there's a lot of subscribers here that have had babies. So if you think we can start posting in a month, then that's awesome.
Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah.
I leave the possibility open that it won't be 6 months.
We're committed and yet unattached to the results.
Yeah. Another thing, so I want to give a shout out to Sandra, one of our subscribers, who actually had an idea to do a quicker, shorter vlog. We don't typically.
Thank you, Sandra.
We don't typically do those. We do more video, like taking you with us, telling a story of something going on.
We do have footage that future videos will include, like, you know, remodeling and preparing our baby room, and also just doing things around Bryson City, new projects, and that's that. I mean, what else we got? Anything?
No, I think you can
probably hit the button.
Yeah, you should hit the button. Hit the button. Con fuerza.
This is what it's like for a pregnant person to take off a sweater.
Everything's harder and I'm always hot. Updates on what's going on with us. I forgot. I used to have a notebook. I was so organized before being pregnant.
And your brain worked a lot.
Yeah, my brain doesn't work the same way.
I feel like my brain's not working now either. I don't know. It might be contagious.
Yeah, you have secondhand baby brain. We did want to talk about, so let's talk, we've had some big changes. We can talk about that.
Yeah, so actually, one of the last few videos that Chris posted, she, mentioned that her employment with the company that she was working for, which is the company that I'm working for, came to an end. Mm-hmm. And now my structure with this company has changed drastically. So I was a full-time employee for this company for the past almost 9 years, and 5 days ago I became an independent contractor. So I'm free and available if anybody needs anything. But I have them now as a client, essentially, and still doing pretty much the same thing I was doing, just, you know, kind of a very different pay structure. You know, not to go too far into it, but I'm 100% commission based now, which is pretty scary. So hopefully it all works out. It doesn't make it not scary, I guess, from a stability perspective, but we were actually just talking about this last night, you know, that stability and security that I had was really always an illusion. Like, from one day to the next, I could have been fired, and that would have been that. And the pandemic showed that, I think, to a lot of us. Luckily, I was lucky enough for that not to happen to me directly. But anyways, here we are now, and there's a lot of ego there and a lot of like feeling distraught about, you know, losing this employment while sort of still remaining doing the same thing, but just being compensated differently. Anyway, realized that that security was never there. And so I think this is actually opening up a whole bunch of new doors that I don't know of yet, but I do feel like it's going in that direction, you know? And anyway, it just all happened from 1 month to the next. So here we are.
Yeah, that was another reason for sure, at least for me. Like, I was really stressed out as well. I was very stressed out when my position, and I'm in marketing and social media, you're in sales, just to give you guys background of what it is that we did. Pretty much losing that and the insurance and the income that I had been paying into and counting on during the birth of our baby, and having that disappear. For me personally, it was really difficult because being that I was in my second trimester at the time, midway through, it was a really awkward time to have that happen, because finding a new job as a pregnant woman that's about to pop isn't exactly feasible, to be honest. So that was really scary, but we still had Jaime's stable income, and then that pretty much from one day to the next disappeared, and went effective the month that our baby was due, which was at the time a really big blow. I'm not gonna lie to you, it was very stressful, which is another reason why posting a video was just impossible. I pretty much had to use whatever extra energy I did have on like just transforming the way that I thought about this. And now that it's been some time and we're here and we get to make lemonade from what we've got, I'm more hopeful, I'm more clear. I don't generally, as like my own philosophy in life, enjoy feeling in a victim blame place. So that was really painful, because it's just not satisfying to me. It feels very powerless to be in that position and feel like something's been taken, versus that I'm participating in the events that are unfolding in my life. So I feel like lately that's what I've been working on, to look at all of this.
Me too, you know, definitely. Again, a big part of it at first is that ego blow of like, wait a minute, you know, it's scary, and then there's pros to it. It's just like Chris was saying, at first I also went into victim mode of like, how's this happening to me, and oh my god, you know, what are we gonna do? And it was stressful, and it's not a, you know, never a good time to be stressed out, but definitely not
month before
our first baby's born. So yeah, all of that together kind of sucked for a bit there, and I do think it just took a little bit of time for us to really like go through these feelings and come out the other end where, yeah, I don't necessarily feel like we have as much stability or security as before, and yet that was an illusion. It's just a matter of how I perceived, you know, full-time employment to be versus independent contractor work. But this does provide opportunities, and I think it's the first step toward something bigger, which we've been working on with Airbnb and stuff like that, but really just something bigger, I think, in just branching out and doing different things. For a while it's been this one toy company, and then whatever extra time we had, try to remodel and do the side hustle thing. Whereas now it does feel a bit more like, this is my only client, and I still put all of my time practically into it. It just feels different because it's coming from a space of like, well, I'm running a business and this is my client.
So one of the big reasons that we moved here, and something that we've been noticing as we've been talking, is we were living in Miami, and we were both doing well in our careers. We had bought our first apartment in a really great neighborhood,
Coconut Grove, for anybody who's
from
Miami
that area
locals, or has been around. Awesome neighborhood.
And I was doing well in my career. I was working in the art district. I had a great job, and you were still working for this company and definitely like moving up within it. So the decision to move here, a lot of it had to do with wanting to get out of this system that we're born into and taught is the safe way. And honestly, since the pandemic, I feel like there was like a little poke in the veil where, at least for me, showed that the system is not the easier or stable way. Like, our participation and belief directly affect and keep in place the system. And it's also 100% possible to fail, depending on how you look at that, right? If you go the safe route. And there's a really famous, great quote, which I will link in this video, by Jim Carrey in a commencement speech, where he talks about his father, who worked for many years in what we consider to be like a safe day job type thing, and how he was basically let go after working for this company for 30 plus years. Obviously at that point in his life, he was probably older, making a certain salary, and that's kind of, it puts you in a different place and a different kind of stuck, and can feel like a fail or like a betrayal. And he was like, so you might as well do the thing that you want to do. And I think that is something that I'm coming to realize as well. Like, I think what we were talking about is that we came here and we got location freedom, but it's very hard to shake the system. Like, we brought our system with us. Yeah. We still sort of kept the same construct, the same employee mindset. At least what I have grown up taking in, like the messaging, right, is that like society tells you that to do the safe thing, to do what's known, and that there is certainty in that. And there isn't, because like, you were in a certain stable position with a company for 8.5 years, with a lot of experience, value, and good faith added in that relationship. And yet the month your child is born, it's like there's no consideration or anything like that. And I'm not saying that in a blamey space, but it's not safe, right? It never was safe. And I think that's part of what's been supportive to me to understand as well. So it's been interesting for me, because like, what I can do is shift my perception and understand that really the whole time we were just as safe. Like, it was always 100% up to us. It's just we made up the story that having it come in the shape that it did made it easier or more secure. And it really wasn't. I mean, it's a lot of hard work. You worked over 40 hours for the last 2 years 60 hours. Easily, and that's not easier. That's certainly not, the path of least resistance. It's just what we think is, Yeah,
and it's, this is our experience. I'm sure it's different for a lot of people watching this. Might be doing your own thing and yet working 100 hours and being absolutely miserable and stressed out, trying to figure out how to generate income to meet your needs that month. You know, like it could be anything. So we've really gone into this pretty deep for being a quick update.
I know, right?
But, you know, we want to let you guys know that we're excited about what this is going to bring. Not just this, but this. And like we're at a point right now, I think, in our lives where a whole bunch of stuff is changing drastically, and you know, we see it as opening up rather than, you know, oh my God, why are all these things happening to me, and why am I being hurt like this, or whatever the case may be. And don't get me wrong, definitely felt like that for a period of time, and you know, comes back here and there. And it's a perspective shift, really. It's not about that feeling. And so we're back to what Chris was saying, come from the space, not being a victim, being accountable. And that's being accountable for my perspective. So I'm creating that. Whether I might feel this way, that feeling will pass. What's my perspective on it, you know? And so that's where we're at with it. And there's one other, it's funny you said the Jim Carrey quote. I woke up, you know, stressed out a few weeks ago. I couldn't sleep. It was like 4 o'clock in the morning, and I just grabbed my phone, and I'm not a huge fan of LinkedIn or any social media for that matter. I just kind of logged into LinkedIn and was just browsing, and I immediately saw this quote from Jim Carrey. It was a quote, and I don't remember exactly what it was. It was something along the lines of, if you're not able to live below your standards or struggle per se for a year in order to be able to live how you want for the rest of your life, you care too much about what people think. And I like read and reread that quote several times, and I was just like, so, you know, what is my problem outside of like this, you know, like we do have bills to pay and all these things, but you know, what is it that I care so much about, like this salary that I had? The blow of it is more of like, I've created an identity around this, and like, I do care what people think to a degree. Like now I'm not director of a global toy company. I'm actually an independent contractor with, you know, my own company that's been around for 5 days. You know what I mean? So like, what is that, you know? And that's an ego thing. And I was just looking at all that, and I was like, you know, what if all of this goes away? Like, let's just say, you know, for whatever reason, the company decides they don't want my services anymore, and that goes away. What do I get in return? And that, what I do get is a whole lot of time. A whole lot of time that I could maybe invest into the things that I've been wanting to invest into, and yet I'm too tired after working 10 hours a day. My dream doesn't get the best me, and my dream doesn't get the most of me. The thing that provides this salary or security gets the best me and the most of me. And so, anyway, right now it's not like I want to lose this. It is providing income, and we've got this little nugget coming soon, so there's no part of me that's just like, yeah, you know what, now's the time, pull the plug, I'm just gonna go full into this and we don't care about money, it'll come. Like, no, definitely do. And also just looking at it, it's what Jim Carrey was saying, you know, like, would we be willing to struggle for a year in order to build what we want for the rest of our lives? Because if the answer is no, then I think I do care about what people think. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Thank you, whoever was on LinkedIn that posted that, because it was an impactful quote. And I had actually never heard that quote from Jim Carrey. The other thing I started thinking was just like, did Jim Carrey really say that? Like, could it just be a random quote? Probably did. That guy's kind of a brilliant man. I
think what Jaime's trying to say is that the biggest takeaway here is that Jim Carrey has some really insightful things to say.
He's an insightful dude.
So that's basically what's been going on. We have a lot of really cool videos. I hate to do another teaser and then be like, I don't know when it's coming.
Yeah, 3 months later.
But no, I have a feeling that maybe this week I'll get to make some magic happen.
You heard it here first.
We've had a lot of stuff going on in our home. We have completely redecorated a lot of our home, and we've chronicled that because it was super exciting. We had a really amazing vision. I'm pretty sure that was us nesting, which is a total thing.
I'm pretty sure it was about our dresser in our room. Something happened, something clicked in my head, and I was like, I'm tired of this. I don't want anything crummy in our house anymore. We get to restart everything. We need to do this, we need to do that. It was just like, I don't know, what would you describe that as? I just kind of lost it for a second.
I thought you did. Everything in our home was just good enough. Like, it was just shy of what we really wanted it to be. And I think just good enough and settling was showing up in a lot of places in our life. And so this was a very low stakes way to make that connection and say, like, actually I don't want to settle. I really want to walk into our room
and love it
like,
and not just
feel like
it's
this
nice.
Is such a great space.
I like it. And I'm like, I fucking love it.
Yeah.
Can I say fucking?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
It's our channel, baby.
That's true. I don't know, we almost
Sorry
got kicked off one time.
We did. That was bad. So anyways, we do want to show that off because we're super proud of it. We had a lot of help from my parents as well, which we really needed.
Yeah, her parents are doers.
They are those people. Yeah,
Chris
they're very good.
We talk about things and we have good ideas and we execute them eventually. But your parents just come up and it's like, what are we doing today? Yeah, they're just to meet, like, wake up every day, coffee, and they're like, all right, where's the list? Like, let's get going. I'm just like, but today was like,
So it was super supportive that they came. I mean, I think we owe them a vacation because they were basically indentured servants for 10 days. Like, they didn't leave this house but one day, and it's because my dad and my mom were both, like, injured from how much work they did. And I'm like, maybe you should stop. So sorry, Mom and Dad.
We shouldn't laugh about that.
We're not. It's like a nervous laugh. Yeah. You know how I get when I get nervous.
Second time you've almost killed your parents.
I didn't almost kill my parents. You can't say that shit.
Took them on a hike to end all hikes.
Oh my God, it wasn't that hard, and they did a great job.
They did.
They did a great job.
And that was their last hike ever. Anyway, so we got a bunch of stuff done,
and we are going to share it. We're moving out of the oh shit, this is all I got, to oh shit, okay, we have this, and we're bright, we're creative, we're hard workers, and I think we have some really cool ideas, and we're excited about that, and we're excited to share that with you guys and just share the journey to see if it works out, doesn't, pivots, whatever. That's part of what this is too, just like being super transparent about this is kind of like part of moving to a very small town. I don't want to say in the middle of nowhere. We're not in the middle of nowhere. We're an hour from Asheville, you know, like we're not off grid.
We're in the Smokies.
But we're in the Smokies and we're in a small town. We're not in a big city with all of the resources and jobs and
really,
whatever
it's
available.
More of like the structure where you can get more of those secure jobs. But do we want those secure jobs? That's what we're coming.
Probably
like,
not.
No, I don't think we ever really did.
Yeah,
they're just like a really nice to have. But there's another really important quote.
So long. I'm gonna have to cut off so much of this.
But it's a really important quote, and I think it really like hits home for all of that we've been talking about for way too long now. And it's that comfort arrives as a guest, stays as a host, and remains to enslave you. This move I've been forced into, I'm grateful for, because as much as it was really hard to do the job that I've been doing, especially the past 2 years since the pandemic, I was too comfortable to decide to change that in any way, too fearful of like losing that comfort or whatever it is. And quite frankly, a lot of times that comfort isn't very comfortable, you know? So anyway, I'm excited to approach discomfort and make the best of it, and that's what we're gonna do. But we're definitely not gonna be comfortable at all, because in the same month that I'm an independent contractor, We're also having our first baby, and we have a whole bunch of stuff to do around here. We want to get this business going, from building tiny houses, which we promised we would in 2021, and we didn't. For anybody who's keeping track of our channel, we're sorry we let you down on that one, and it's okay, because it's what we needed to get to this next step. 2022 is the year.
It's a game
we're gonna
changer.
figure it out. We're gonna have no jobs, we're gonna have a baby, and we're gonna somehow
Make it
create our
work.
dream.
We're gonna work.
We're gonna make it work.
I
So
love you.
I love you too, baby. And so, can you guys relate to that? Because if any of you are going through similar situations right now, or have in the past, or agree with that discomfort, security, stability, or disagree,
let
we
us
want to
know.
hear it. Yeah, I want to know your experience. And yeah, and you know, this is the first video you're watching. We got a bunch more. Please give us a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't.
Thanks for being here.